Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Vatican on Saturday says the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, slept well on Friday night and now resting after he had had a breathing crisis on Friday afternoon which led to him vomiting, making the 88-year-old pontiff to be supported by a breathing machine. Pope Francis slept well and is resting, according to a Saturday morning statement from the Holy See press office, according to the Vatican news media. The Holy See press office said on Saturday morning that Pope Francis slept well and spent the first part of the morning resting. After a quiet night, the Pope is resting, said by the Holy See press office in a statement. The Pope has not experienced any further crisis following yesterday's bronchospasm. This morning he had breakfast, enjoyed a coffee, and read the newspapers. His condition remains complex, and the prognosis is still guarded, the Catholic Public Relations Unit stated. Vatican News added that an earlier statement, issued on Friday evening, had noted that Pope Francis's respiratory condition worsened following an isolated bronchospasm. The Pope was promptly started on non-invasive mechanical ventilation, to which he responded. Thanks to non-invasive mechanical ventilation, gas exchange values are reported to have returned to levels similar to those before the episode. However, about 24 to 48 hours are needed to be able to assess the Pope's clinical condition following the isolated bronchospasm. These statements come as the Pope continues to be treated for bilateral pneumonia in Rome's Gemelli Hospital. He was admitted on Friday, the 14th of February, following an infection of the respiratory tract, according to Vatican News. The Holy See press in a statement on Friday evening had said that the Holy Father, this afternoon, after a morning spent alternating between respiratory physiotherapy and prayer in the chapel, experienced an isolated episode of bronchospasm. This caused an episode of vomiting, which led to him inhaling some and a sudden worsening of his respiratory condition. The Holy Father was promptly subjected to bronchial aspiration to clear his airways and was put on non-invasive mechanical ventilation, which improved his oxygen levels. He has remained alert and aware at all times, cooperating with therapeutic treatments. The prognosis, therefore, remains guarded. In the morning, he received the Eucharist. Meanwhile, the Catholic faithful attend a prayer service at St. Peter's Square in Vatican City on Friday, February 28th as Pope Francis continues his hospitalization. We had reported that the Vatican says Pope Francis is still experiencing complex or chronic health conditions that affect multiple parts of his body systems, but the head of the Catholic Church is resting calmly since on Thursday, adding that the prognosis or the likely outcome or the forecasted outcome of the current health conditions of the Pope is still guarded. This, as local media had earlier reported that the Pope confided on some of his aides that he may not make it alive, with reports of some Catholic officials already rehearsing for his funeral. The Pope was admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on Friday, February 14th, following a bout of bronchitis, with his doctors later diagnosing bilateral pneumonia. We had reported that despite the medical condition that he's under the high flow of oxygen in the hospital over double pneumonia, Pope Francis on Sunday, on the eve of the third-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine launched by President Vladimir Putin-led Russia government, called on everyone in the world to remember victims of the war in Ukraine, describing the war which started on February 24, 2022 as painful, shameful for all humanity. We had reported that the Ukrainian President, Volodymyr Zelensky, has continued his phone conversations with world leaders with a video and written press statement on Saturday saying that the world leaders must ensure that the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, is not allowed to deceive the world again, insisting that Putin has used Russian army, intelligence services and mercenaries over 30 years to bring death to America, Europe, Africa, Middle East, Syria. This, Zelensky stated after he began special defense campaign with phone conversations with world leaders following strained relationship with one of the countries that has majorly assisted Ukraine in its defense against Russia since 2022 when the war began. United States, U.S. President Donald Trump, who threatened to stop military aid to Ukraine, claiming that Ukraine started the war it knows it cannot win, calling President Volodymyr Zelensky a modestly successful comedian and a dictator that deceived the immediate past U.S. President Joe Biden to commit over $350 billion of U.S. taxpayers' money on a war the North America country will not get any profit in return, with Ukrainian president accusing Donald Trump of disinformation and saying that Putin-led Russia has intensified attacks and launched massive bomb destructions on Ukraine cities and villages during the week of Donald Trump's outburst. We had also reported that the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, is not out of danger and his health worsened on Saturday evening, says Vatican. The Pope's funeral is allegedly being rehearsed after the 88-year-old warned he may not survive pneumonia. The Swiss guard protecting the Pope, 88, is rehearsing his funeral, with members under a curfew as they are preparing for the pontiff's death, Swiss newspaper Blick claims.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.